So one of the actually steps towards the hypothesis testing problems is to identify the hypothesis, that is the null hypothesis as well as the alternative hypothesis. So now in this video we can have to discuss about actually some of the common phrases that can help us to actually determine what is the null hypothesis and what is alternative hypothesis in this case. Now let's say we have the null hypothesis, which is symbolized as H0. Let's say the null hypothesis says that the mu, let's say the mu is greater than the mean, which is given as A. Now in this case, the alternative hypothesis, which is symbolized as HA, we'll have to say the mu is less than A. Mind you, the alternative, the null hypothesis is also said to be a claim. So the alternative the null hypothesis is also said to be a claim. And this is true for all of the following phrases. That is, if the null hypothesis is above, it means it is greater than. In that case, the alternative has to say it is below. And if the null hypothesis says that it is greater than, it means this is the notation. And the alternative will have to say it is less than. And if the null hypothesis says that it is bigger than, this is the notation. Likewise, the alternative hypothesis will have to say it is smaller than. And if the null hypothesis says that it is increased, this is the notation. And where the null hypothesis where the alternative hypothesis will now being given as the decreased, that is the less than. And if the null hypothesis says that it is longer than, now alternative will have to say it is shorter than. And likewise, opposite is true, in the sense that if the null hypothesis says that it is less than, it means for this case will be greater than. And likewise, everything remains the same in that order. So take note of that. Now what if this is the case? Let's say we have now all these phrases we have talked about here, they are actually corresponding to one-tailed. So understand, you know what is one-tailed in that case. Now the cases to do with the tailed, let's say one-tailed I'm talking about, they are basically to do with the alternative hypothesis. Now in this case, since it is less than, it means actually left-tailed. If it could be greater than, it means it is right-tailed. That is for alternative hypothesis. So all these cases are that of the single-tailed. So take note of that. And let's go for the actually two-tailed. That is two-tailed test. So what is a two-tailed test? So now in this case, let's say if the alternative if the mu should be, if the null hypothesis, which is given as H0, let's say is equal to the mu, should be in this case. Now should be like this. What am I doing there? So now, if the actual null hypothesis says that the mu, let's say, is equal to the mean, let's say is equal to A, so it means the alternative hypothesis will have to say mu is no longer equal to actually A. And now this is true for the following phrases, in the sense that whenever the null hypothesis says that is equal to, alternative hypothesis has to be not equal to. if the null hypothesis says that is the same as, alternative has to be actually the alternative hypothesis, we'll have to say is different from. And if the null hypothesis says that is the same as, in this case the alternative hypothesis will have to say it is not the same as. So all these cases are depicting in the two-tail test, because if the null hypothesis says that the mean is equal to A, now the alternative hypothesis will have to say the mean is not equal to A. So which means that choice, it can be above A or less than A. That is two-tail test. Let's say if the mean is the same as A, it means the null hypothesis, actually the alternative hypothesis will have to say is not the same as A, which means it can be above A or less than A. So that's how you have to understand about some of the common phrases you have to familiarize yourselves with, that whenever we are dealing with the problems to do with hypothesis testing. So thanks